All right, Mike, the Irish came up with a huge victory down in College Station, beating the Aggies 23-13. And we've heard that the Aggies had tons of players
Yeah.
there as they were recruiting a lot of guys down there that particular ball game. But from the Notre Dame perspective, for Irish recruits that were at home watching this game, what type of feedback did you get from them?
Man, Irish recruits that watched it from home, because there was a ton of national attention on this, but also, Darren, Irish recruits who were at the game. There was a lot of good feedback from both ends of it. Well, yes, the kids who were at the game were there as Texas A&M recruits. There were many who were also Notre Dame targets. And the feedback is really been good. I'll also add real quick, Darren. I talked about this in my YouTube show on Tuesday night with Tim Hyde. Like, Notre Dame is kind of like a national conversation darling right now, and that people are loving on Notre Dame right now. There was a sports radio guy. I want to say he was in Washington or something, and he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he was like, I hate Notre Dame, but I love Marcus Freeman. Like, Freeman in the tunnel. Like, everyone is really excited about Notre Dame right now from this national landscape, which I find pretty fascinating. And then the recruits have taken notice as well. And I had an article come out on Sunday with recruit reaction for the game. Again, from all these different prospects, there or not there. And then on Wednesday, I posted an article with even more recruit reaction that has come in. But I did want to cover just a few guys real quick, just to kind of give you an overview on some of this. So, like, a prospect like Tikihola from Texas, a 4-star class of 2026 defensive lineman. So he's a high school junior. He was at the game. He spoke to Blue and Gold's Kyle Kelly, has really good things to say about Notre Dame. So this is a prospect from Texas, went and visited the Aggies. Notre Dame's in pursuit of him, and he saw, the Irish go down and beat the home state team. And then you got a player like Connor Salman from Virginia. He came and visited Notre Dame and Texas A&M. A lot of the visits that this class of 2026 4-star wide receiver tells me he's going to take, the games are between schools he's considering, which would include Notre Dame and Texas A&M. So Notre Dame, which I've logged a prediction for Notre Dame to land this young man, very much a prediction, something that, it's a projection. You're talking 8, 9, 10 months out. But, he had a great time at the game. Again, he's there as an Aggies recruit, but he's watching Notre Dame, and I know he liked the Notre Dame wide receivers and what he saw from them. And then how about this one? Nathaniel Boateng, the younger brother of Jeremiah Koromoa. This is a class of 2025 prospect, so a high school senior signing in December. Quick side note, Darren, do you know the National Signing Day is moved up 2 weeks?
I had heard that.
December 2nd or 4th. So that, how when Notre Dame would play on the road against Stanford, and then the head coach would go out on the road, he would just stay out on the West Coast and recruit. Infamously, Brian Kelly and Tobias Merriweather and the burnt ends. That's gone. After that game, it goes like straight into a dead period. Like, after that final week of so kind of a side note, we can get more into that as signing day gets closer for the 25 class. But Owusu Boateng is one that the staff is very much wanting. Top 100 overall player, 6 foot, 200-pound linebacker. And he was at Florida to see the Gators get shellacked by Miami, but he watched the game. I'm guessing watching, a replay or whatever. And he said, I saw, this is quote from Owusu Boateng 2-on-3's Chad Simmons. I saw an electric defense playing in an electric atmosphere. Notre Dame played multiple linebackers, and all of them had a great game. Notre Dame played 5 linebackers and some young linebackers. So it's one thing to say, hey, Nathaniel, we will play you as a true freshman. Or you can say, like, that's not just lip service. Like, we do play true freshman linebackers. Kingston, single linebacker. Kingston, true freshman. And then sophomores, Osbury, Bowen, and then you got a junior in Sneed. And then, of course, the gray-haired Jack Kaiser's been here forever. But yeah, they will play young linebackers here. So just a different kind of sample size of Notre Dame recruiting impact. In-state kid, out-of-state kid, someone who's on a different visit, but Notre Dame's game against Texas A&M even impacted him while he was on a visit to another school.
You provided a very interesting nugget, I think, for fans just a second ago that maybe didn't realize that signing day moved up. I think I'd be curious to know if this is going to be the norm, Mike, because Notre Dame loves to end the year on the West Coast for the reasons you gave. They play the game and they stay on the West Coast and recruit, whether it's USC or Stanford. If this is going to become the norm, then it does provide Notre Dame a little more flexibility with their scheduling. We still don't know if Stanford's going to be like a Notre Dame Stanford game that's away from that ACC docket, or is it going to be included? So if that Stanford game is included in the 4 or 5 games Notre Dame plays every year, it does open up some different options for Notre Dame. They never finish at home. I guess there would be that opportunity if they ever wanted to go down that road.
Yeah. One thought is that I feel like this is, while the December signing, this like first Wednesday in December rather than what was it before, 3rd, they might add some August or July. So who the heck knows? Like it's difficult to like set in stone one thought process when it comes to your recruiting calendar schedule, because it is fluid year by year. It just seems to be everything has changed. Darren, you can answer this better than me. There's like you for how much college football's changed, let's say in the past 10 years with the introduction of the college football playoff, more has changed in college football in the past 10 years than like the 30 years before it. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I think that's fair.
Like 30, 40, like it is so much different. Even covering recruiting, it's when I got into this in 2013, I used to break most of the commitments. The kids didn't always tweet them out, or like we were waiting on the kids announcement. That was my job. I would break the news on these commitments. I remember one time I was covering a commitment. This is when I was covering USF and as a college student. I didn't even tweet it out there. I put it behind the message board. And I said, "Hey, USF's landed a new commitment. Put it behind the message. Put it behind the paywall." I was like, "If you want to find out who the new commitment is, find out behind the paywall." That's not how it works anymore, Darren.
No.
It's a lot that's changed.
Yeah, I'm just amazed that Notre Dame had a list of players this summer that might be in the transfer portal, and they're preparing for December, even back before the season started. That's just remarkable. And who would have thought that 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years ago? Okay, now to this weekend. Home opener. A lot of buzz surrounding the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. They take on the Huskies of Northern Illinois. Before we talk about visitors, just to build on your previous comment, do you sense or do you hear from recruits or commits that there's so many things to like about Notre Dame? I mean, we've got a long list, but where does the enthusiasm and the excitement that Marcus Freeman showed coming out of the tunnel at Texas A&M, I would have to imagine just little things like that catches kids' attention, and you're probably sitting at home thinking, man, I want to be in that tunnel with that guy leading us out on the field. Again, I know it's small. There's so many other things, but to me, that's a big deal also.
No, yeah, I agree with you, Darren. We live in a world where we're all on our phones and you're swiping Instagram Reels or TikTok. There's something to when you're swiping and the algorithm feeds you sports content and you see Marcus Freeman. And that's the guy, 100% Darren, that's the guy who's texting you, he's calling you, and you see him hyped up like that, and it's going viral, and everyone's loving it. I think there's definitely something to that. It's no one's going to pick Notre Dame for that, but it's a momentum builder. Like it 100% is. And recruiting, it can be like a snowball effect. You want to build, keep momentum high, keep Notre Dame cool, keep Notre Dame in the news for good reasons. And that's definitely where Notre Dame's at right now. It's like right now for a lot of these recruits. Now I know some people are going to be like, well, not all of them, Mike. Well, yeah, for sure. But Notre Dame's like really cool. Really cool right now. Especially coming after that win over Texas A&M, another school that a lot of recruits like. Notre Dame just went in and beat them by 10 points.
And I think those videos have more impact for kids because they know him from the start of the process.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And that makes those videos more impactful. All right. What type of visitors are we going to see in South Bend this weekend?
Yeah, few commits, couple targets. Notre Dame's going to have bigger visit weekends when Louisville and Florida State come into town, your two marquee home games of the year. But for it being Northern Illinois, it's pretty solid. And we'll have a full visitor preview on our website Thursday. So your listeners and my YouTube audience can check that out. So here's 3 names so far that I wanted to talk about. A lot more visiting, but here are 3 that I find interesting. Kari Adams is a class of 2026 4-star cornerback, top 200 overall player. Loyola Blakefield in Maryland, someone who camped at Notre Dame in June, got his offer from the Irish, and is a big target for Notre Dame. So good to have Adams on campus for a return visit. Blue and the Gold's Cal Kelly had this scoop yesterday that Ben Nichols, a class of 2026 top 200 overall player, an interior lineman, 6'5", 315 pounds. Again, from the state of Michigan, he's going to be on campus. Michigan State, Ohio State, a couple of the other schools in contention for Nichols. Kyle and I agree. We like where Notre Dame's at the most for Nichols. Don't be surprised if you see predictions for him to land at Notre Dame sometime in the near future. And then for all of you in the Hoosier State, this is a name to know. Westfield, Indiana High School, class of 2026 safety, Deacon King, offers from Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Toledo, Central Michigan, Buffalo, and I believe a few others. 3-star prospect right now, according to On3, number 41 safety in America, and the number 2 prospect from the Hoosier State in the 2026 class. Notre Dame has not offered King yet, but he is someone the staff really likes. We saw King at Irish Invasion, and just like when these prospects are walking into campus, walking into the IAC, he's one that's like, who is that? Like he really looks the part, and I thought he did well going through drills and some one-on-ones that we got to see with Deacon King as well. So that's 3 names of note visiting this weekend.